What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Crypto Grind stream. I thought that we could go live today. So it might have been some short notice, but it's good to have everybody here, whether you're watching it live or at your leisure. I am Stuart. You all know me as Crypto Grind. And today I thought we would do something a little bit different, talk about 5 of the gaming coins that I think will do well. Obviously, you guys are welcome to agree or disagree. Drop in your own picks for what you think will do well in terms of gaming, and we can chat about it as the stream goes on. Just to give out some special mentions, we've got Khalid coming in first. It's always good to see you as part of the community, one of the OGs of the community, so it's good to see you first. If everybody else is here and you have coins that you want to talk about, drop them in the comments as well, and then we will get going. So first thing I'm going to do is just bring up the crypto bubbles here. So it's pretty green day, which is pretty amazing. I'm actually also just going to bring up coin market cap as well. It's pretty amazing to see a green day. In the bear markets, it's not often that we see green all over. So it's very nice to see. Bitcoin has been going up quite nicely. If we have a look at the charts, let's just get rid of my Forex. If we have a look at the daily for Bitcoin, it's looking quite good, actually. And then let's get rid of some of these. Oh, yeah, there we go. So it's actually looking quite good for Bitcoin. We are on the way up. It seems to have bounced off that 25 mark. I must be honest, I didn't even think it was going to go back down to 25, to that level. But we can see that it does have a line over here that it's bounced off twice, around about there. So over here in September and in June, we had the same level that it's bounced off. So there's a bit of a resistance there. Sorry, and we on our way back up to the next mark. Obviously, the next important zone is going to be this 28,000 here. We made it past there in June. We went all the way up to 31 and steadily been coming back down again. So it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin. It will be interesting to see what happens when we test that zone. I think we have another smaller one over here as well at the 27,200. We've rejected off there once. So interesting to see if we go past it again. I think we might even test it today by the looks of it. We're sitting at a very close there. We're sitting at 27.2 there. So I think today might be a test of that zone. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think what we can do also, I suppose, having a look at coin market cap, you can see the greed and fear index here, still sitting in fear. Remember the big rule, buy in fear, sell in greed. So it's a good time to be buying for the right coins. Obviously, you've got to make your own decision when it comes to that. But, buy the right coins and you will definitely make profit, because this is the right time to be buying. So we're going to take a look at the coins that I think will do pretty well in the bull run in terms of gaming. So the first one on my list is GFL. Now, I did call this one quite a while ago in terms of price. I can't remember what the market cap was, but it was about 2 months ago, and I think it's done fairly well since then. We're just going to wait for the chart to load up here. But yeah, GFL, if we have a look here, yearly, I think I was speaking about it down here. So it's done about a 2x or so since I spoke about it, maybe even over here. So it's done about a 2x since I started speaking about GFL. The only thing that I will caution everybody on with this is the tokenomics. Tokenomics are absolutely awful with GFL. But I think the project overall is pretty solid. I know it seems to be a bit of a toss-up between Mirror and GFL. My personal pick would be GFL. I think they've got a great team. They've got people who understand what needs to be done when it comes to building a good project in the crypto space, plus understanding the gaming sort of sector as well in general. They've got people who work with EA, Blizzard, Activision, people who understand mobile gaming because they've been in development with Candy Crush. I mean, arguably one of the biggest mobile games, that hit the market 10 odd years ago and still going, still has a pretty big community. So if they can get all that right and get the mixture going between mobile gaming, They want to include console as well as PC, so they've got some big ideas, and they don't want to go just full Web3. What they are aiming to do, a lot of it is around the wallets and battle passes and things like that that you land up using when you game, a lot of in-game purchases, and that's what they're focusing on as well. So I think all in all, GFL for me is going to be one that you should be holding. It's at really good levels. I don't know. I mean, we at all-time highs here. So it's one of those ones that either you wait and hope that it's going to drop down to maybe here somewhere, or you just DCA into this project and watch everything go up. We're sitting in a market cap of 18 million. There are coin releases taking place on the 13th of every month. So you've got to be careful of that. Generally, before the 13th, we do see a bit of a dump down. You can see here on the 13th of July, there was a coin release. So it dumped because people sold roundabout here as well. In August the 13th, it had a dump again. But it's no big deal. It's something that we expect, and obviously it's going to take time for all those coins to be released. So that's the only sort of thing that you need to worry about. You can see here again. But we're still trending up, even though the price dumps on the 13th. So it's nothing to be too concerned about. I do think that we have a 100x from this point in GFL. So really, guys, this is one that you probably should be getting into. In my opinion, remember, not financial advice. Nothing I say is financial advice. It's your hard-earned money. You've got to make the right decisions. But if you are interested in knowing when I'm going to be getting into this, if I'm going to be picking up any more, the best place to be is obviously my Patreon. My Patreons find out first before we talk about anything. So the link is in the description if you are interested. Otherwise, the best way that you can help this channel right now is hitting that like button, hitting that share button, telling all your friends to join up on the Telegram. The Crypto Grind community is a really fantastic community. I do think we have one of the best communities. Not toxic. We don't fight with each other. We do disagree on what coins we should or shouldn't have, but that's not a bad thing, in my opinion. Healthy debate is always going to be there, and that's what I encourage in my community. So really, we have a good community. If you want, Telegram is there as well. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter for all my updates. So I'm going to change off this now because this GIF is really weirding me out. So the next one on my list that I have that I think is a must is Altura. And Carla, don't worry, I have seen your comment. I will take a look at these now. Let's just go through some of these gaming coins and then we can chat about shares. RPG, I think, is a pretty unique situation from what I've read online. I probably wouldn't be getting into that. I do believe that there are some issues in the background. But Trias, I think it's a bit of profit taking. It's been going up for quite a while, so it could possibly be worth an entry. But we will take a look at that now because I am very bullish on Trias in the long run. So another one that I am very bullish on is Altura. Not one that gets spoken about a lot, which is surprising, actually. So I've been speaking about this one since about 12 million as well, and it hasn't really come back to that level since I've been speaking about it. If we have a look at market cap, I was talking about it down here, beginning of the year, around about 12 million, and you see again we've done pretty much a 2x. If everybody was following me, it would have been a 3x at one point in time. But again, this one, solid project. I think they are doing some insane things, and I can see this doing very well. It's one that doesn't get spoken about a lot, and I don't know why. I do believe one of the reasons why it's not spoken about so much is the fact that we have this big hype around GFL and Miriam at the moment, and these sort of projects fall in the background, which is not necessarily a bad thing because you pick them up at cheaper prices. So although it's not really spoken about as much as it maybe should be, definitely take a look at Altura. It is a fantastic project. They obviously are backed by Unity as well, Unity software, for those people who are not too sure what Unity is. It's a standard that you have to meet to be part of a specific, software, or I would say group, in other words. But you can put your API on the Unity store. People can then trust it because it has a Unity stamp of approval, and they can then take your APIs and they can then develop games around it. And that's one reason why I am bullish on Altura, is that it's the infrastructure, the building blocks for the games. It's not necessarily a game. People get bored. We've spoken about this already. So yeah, it's one that I think can do well. Not many people are speaking about it, but definitely one that should be on your list. We also have Archie in the chat. Now, I do actually want to give Archie a special mention here, because that PZP call was insane. Anybody who isn't part of Archie's following, make sure you're following him on Twitter, on YouTube. Check out his Patreon as well. Archie's making some fantastic calls, so also go and check him out. I would highly recommend it. Archie, I am actually next on my list, believe it or not, is Naka. So Naka is a great project. Actually seeing a bit of downside now, which is not a bad thing, in my opinion. Naka has been going up for the last however long. You can see here, it's just been all up pretty much. And there's a lot of people that I've been speaking to, and they've all been saying, we're waiting for this big dip to come with Naka so we can actually get in cheap. I mean, it's still doing well, sitting in 42 million. I do think that this one can see maybe from here, possibly 50 to 80x. I mean, it's great returns in my opinion, but it's a good project again. They continue to develop. They've got games being built all the time, so people are not getting bored with this old games that they have had and they have been playing. So, and also remember, we've got a KuCoin listing, but we don't have a Binance listing yet, and that will push these volumes up to huge amounts. Again, tokenomics not necessarily the best, but it's a solid project, solid team. They understand what it's going to take to make this a success. And I do think that Nakamoto, we could see a 100x here. I mean, that would take it to what we saw from Gala in the last bull run. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. But and then Archie, obviously, I'm fantastic, man. It's good to see you on the stream, and definitely, I think we need to do a stream together at some point in time. We should definitely arrange something, because it's been a while since we've been on a stream together, and obviously with the gem hunters no longer, we're not able to do the gem hunters anymore. As Seth has said, everybody who is watching, you haven't seen the announcement, we're all just way too busy, and I think managing our own channels, jumping on other guest streams as well, trying to manage our communities effectively, it just became too time consuming for everybody. So the gem hunters, we all still going to be, I can definitely say that we're going to be friends for a very long time. But in terms of the channel for now, unfortunately, I've said to my community, I believe that it is an indefinite hiatus. I do think that the gem hunters will be back once we can find a way to sort of merge all our schedules together, make it work. So unfortunately, the gem hunters for now are on hiatus, but definitely would love to have you guys on the stream or jump on your guys' streams at any time, really. So yeah, it's good to see Archie in the chat. And guys, again, make sure that you are checking out Archie's channel. Really is a great channel. I'm often in the streams lurking. I don't really comment all that much, but I'm in the streams, and Archie hosts fantastic streams as well, almost daily. So check it out. I'm pretty sure you might be going live straight after me, actually. So you guys are going to get a full sort of fix of crypto alpha. Let's put it that way. So I know Archie did say that PZP is the next Naka, and it could be. It could be. I do think that crypto casinos are definitely here to stay. They're going to be playing a big part in the crypto space, in my opinion. And PZP sort of seems to have everything as part of it. So it's not on my list as part of the holding. I actually don't know where to put PZP, whether I should put it in gaming or have another sort of live stream where we say, okay, let's do crypto casinos and see which ones are going to be big. So I've left it off the list because I'm not sure if it falls in the gaming category, but it doesn't mean it's a bad project. It really doesn't mean a bad project. It's an insane project, in my opinion. So next on my list is probably going to surprise everybody. And that's one called Ultra. Now, this one really does not get spoken about a lot, in my opinion. And again, don't know why. It has seen a bull run before. It market cap, I'm not too sure. We hit 600 million the last bull run. But again, I think that was largely due to the fact that there was the whole metaverse hype, not necessarily Ultra being a fantastic project at the time. People were getting in thinking that every single metaverse project is going to do very well. And I think Ultra got trapped in that. And I do believe that there was one specific YouTuber, Mr. Becker, who pumped this project up in a big way. Now, I'm not saying he dumped on his community, but every time he speaks about these projects, they do see a pump. And I do know that he is careful about talking about them because he's said plenty of times he speaks about them and they pump. But since the last bull run, they've actually been building. They've got, again, sort of like GFL, where they've taken people from different parts of the gaming industry, and they're actually creating their own FPS first-person shooter using these people's technology and skill sets and stuff like that. So this is one that I think we can definitely see this hitting back up to the 600 million mark again. How much further? I definitely think we can see this going into the 1 billion. So from here, a very sweet sort of 20, 30, 40x, I think is possible. So another one, a solid hold, might not get you your 100x. I don't know if it will get to the 5 billion mark, but that's okay. It's going to do pretty well. You know, we can't have every project doing 100x. You need to be realistic. If you have 2 projects that do a 100 and then you average between 20 and 30 in the other projects that you've invested in, you've done very well. You've made good profit. Just make sure that you're taking profits before everything starts to dump again, because that is definitely going to be where everybody is going to be caught. So this is a very nice one, good market cap, good volume. The circulating supply versus max supply is about 30% out at the moment. So we are looking at tokenomics again for a lot of these projects that are not great, but it's okay. They have good vesting schedules. They have solid teams. It does sort of navigate it in a way. And also, you've got to remember, Ultra here, again, not listed on Binance. I think once they have the Binance listing, it's going to absolutely rocket this project. So we've got KuCoin here. Decent volume on KuCoin. Not the best. But again, that's okay. I'm not too stressed. I think all in all, this is a fantastic project that you definitely should be taking a look at. And I would highly recommend, again, not financial advice, but it is one that is in my portfolio. I will say that right now. And I would highly recommend that you take a look at it and, you know, consider adding a little small bag to your portfolio, just to cover your bases a little bit. Right. And then next on my list, sorry, I need to pull this list up. It has disappeared on me. There we go. Fairwell. Now, this has seen a bit of a rise recently, and I think there is some profit taking happening. That's why you're seeing that it is pretty down in terms of price. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. I was speaking about this a couple of months ago, I think a month or 2 ago, sort of down here. Where was it? Round about here, I think. So, I mean, if everybody, you know, I was talking about it when it was about $1 million in market cap, so it's done a 3x since then. Again, so if everybody part of my Patreon, even if you're following the channel, you would have actually seen this and been able to get some good gains. But I do think that in the long run, we're going to see Fairwell doing very well. I mean, we're at all-time highs at the moment. I think this will continue. They've got some big things coming out in the next few weeks as well. And we're only sitting at a $3 million market cap. So this is extremely low, and one that I think can easily do a 100x. This has got massive 100x potential. And probably, again, not financial advice, but miss out on Fairwell, and I think you are going to regret it. I do think that this even has the possibility to go all the way to $1 billion in market cap. But if they achieve everything that they are setting out to achieve before the bull run starts, this can be a 1 billion, which means it's going to be about 300x on this project. So I think it's a great project. Definitely one you guys shouldn't be missing out on. Now, you probably are surprised that I haven't mentioned Myria. That is on my special mention list. The reason why I have left Myria out is I don't think buying the Myria token is the best way to go. I think that what you should probably be looking at doing with Myria is maybe buying a little bit and holding it in your bag, but look at maybe trying to get a node and taking rewards from owning a Myria node. Now, it is quite expensive. Not everybody has $4,000 lying around to actually buy a node. But if you were looking to invest that amount of money in one of these projects, I would say that's what you should do. The tokenomics for Myria are not great, and buying a node helps you mine Myria, but negating this whole eventual dilution of the Myria token. Now, I do know from what I understand that there are going to be burns on this token as well. I don't know how that's going to happen. I'm not very sort of clued up on that. But again, that's probably the best way. Obviously, if you don't have the money to buy a node, not everybody has that lying around. Go in, be cautious, but I wouldn't go all in on Myria. I just have the sense that GFL is possibly going to outperform Myria, and that would be my reason for going into GFL. Don't always look at market cap. You've got to sort of have a look at overall potential in the crypto space. And Myria has the potential, but I just think there's something that tells me GFL is going to pip it. So that's why it hits a special mention for me. It's not one that I'm super comfortable going into, but I do think it's going to do well. And probably one thing I haven't mentioned when it comes to all of these projects that we've spoken about today is the fact that there is hype. Hype plays a huge factor in the crypto space. If any of you have ever watched Seth, you will know that he talks about it a lot. Hype and marketing sometimes do better than your actual solid projects. You look at something like a Polkadot. Good project, but the hype is just not there. Their marketing, everything like that has fallen away in a big way. And I love Polkadots. I think it is going to do very well, but there's no hype behind it. There's nothing that gets people excited. But if you look at a Myria, if you look at a GFL, if you look at Archie's pick of a PZP, the hype is there, and that's what's going to be pumping these coins up. And I think Myria will get some hype. I think GFL will get some hype. I think Fairwell will get some hype. If we have a look here on our lists as well, we've got it's not opening up for one reason or another. This PZP is going to get hype. Probably the ones that are not going to get as much hype as what we saw before. I know Gala's had some bad press in the past. Gala probably isn't going to get the hype that we saw the last time. There's going to be new kids on the block who are going to be coming along, who are going to be sort of taking that mantle from Gala. I do think Gala will do well. I know it's been unfortunate that they have had some bad press and a lot of people have had some bad things to say about Gala. I still believe it is I still believe that Gala will do well, but how well, it's hard to say. And everybody who is in the chat, let's give a special mention to Seth. We've literally just been talking about Seth and saying how he's always mentioning a hype as a way for these projects to make their money. So Seth, I think you must have heard your name being called. Yeah, no donation button yet, Seth. Monetization is coming. Got a few more hours to go, a couple of hundred. So that should be coming soon. And then the donation button will be there. But like I said to everybody before, there's no pressure when it comes to that sort of thing. The best way that anybody can support this channel, click that share button, click that like button. Make sure you're watching all the videos, because of course that's how we get to that monetization. But it is coming, and I'm just grateful to the community that even if one person comes to watch my streams, I'm happy. I don't need to be the next BitBoy. I mean, we all know what happened to him, but I'm just grateful that I have one person watching. And yeah, if any questions or anything like that, drop it down below. I have run through everything a lot quicker than I thought I would. So if there aren't any questions, then I'll probably cut the stream early. And then hopefully look to be doing one on Friday again. I am going to be working up to doing 2 or 3 streams a week, just so we can get a bit more community engagement as well. I do remember Khaled actually had a question about Trias. So let's go back and pop that on over here. Trias has seen, look, I think the reason why we've seen a pullback on Trias is more just a case of profit taking more than anything else. We've seen it, let's have a look, the last month has been pretty good. You've seen we back down here and ticking up, and then there's been some big profits. Maybe there was some news that came along here as well that I don't know about. But yeah, look, I think it is in a fairly good buy zone, if you ask me. It's very close to its all-time high for the year. And if you have a look at this level here, obviously this was the bull run. These are the peaks for the bull run here. We're very close. Let's just have a look what the price was there. Very close to the levels in the market cap that we were before the last bull run. So for that reason, I would say that this is probably a good buy. And it's, if you use that that sort of thinking, if you have a look at another one of my favorites, Algorand. I know that there are some people out there who think that I'm crazy for still being such a big fan of Algorand, but I just feel like you can't ignore a project this good. Big news came out of Algorand last week. I'll probably do an update on that at some point in the future. But yeah, so I mean, if you have a look here, this is the big pump before the last bull run, and look at the levels leading up to it. We are literally at those levels. It's insane if you think about it, and look what it did in the last bull run. Now, if you are at the belief that this bull run is going to dwarf all the others before, that means Algorand is going to shoot past this high here of 13 billion, and it is going to just keep going. So, you know, you're buying at these levels here, and I think you're going to see some pretty good returns it's not going to be your 100x's or anything like that, but the fact that Algorand is under $1 billion in market cap for me is criminal. And there's no excuse not to be picking a little bit of Algorand up for one of your higher market caps. Yeah, and this is a solid 20 to 35, maybe 40x in my opinion. So, but yes, to go back to your question there, Carla, Trias, I think this is good accumulation zones. RPG, I'm not a big fan of. I do believe that there is better. So if you are going to be going into this, I would caution. We've got Mark O'Sullivan coming in. Keep up the good work. Appreciate those words, Mark. It really does mean a lot. I do remember seeing you in the stream a few times. So you're also one of the OGs. So it's good to see everybody coming back, all the OGs. I know I was away for most of August, but we are trying to be a bit more consistent again. And it's great to see the community coming back. So got a few others that Khaled is speaking about. G Swift, I must be honest. I don't know too much about this project, Game Swift. $2 million market cap. Volume's a little bit low. The tokenomics don't look good, 3%. So you're sitting in that sort of tokenomics, terrible tokenomics like you do with GFL and Miria. Can't really get much in terms of that. I think you probably find that the volume will pick up when you get a larger listing, like a KuCoin, a Binance, or something like that. Yeah, I would probably have to do more research into this coin, but having a look at that, the tokenomics, and doesn't fill me with confidence. We can have a look here at some general tokenomics on the white paper. Let's see if we can see how this is split. I hate it when they call it a light paper because it means that generally sometimes they're hiding information. Okay, let's just close that there. Core features, sorry, no one cares. Opportunity, okay. Ecosystem. So they're taking advantage now of this whole ZK rollups. You know, everybody's talking about it now. So it's going to be the buzzwords. Every time you see something, it's all going to be ZK rollups. But it doesn't always mean anything if you don't actually follow through. So in Q2, Q3 will announce its killer feature, which is going to revolutionize the gaming industry. Okay. Have they announced it? Have they actually made the announcement on what this killer update is? Let's see, token. Got a docs team, which is good. Always like to see that. So that's a tick. That's a plus. Competencies, blockchains. I got Polygon as an investor. Casper. That's always good to see. I don't know who this is. Okay, so they got big investors at least. Or does this just mean that they want some sort of grant from Polygon? Because that's also a lot of the times what happens. Just like this Casper Labs, they're not a partner and they're not investors. They just want a grant for for it. So the one thing that I can see here doesn't show how the token is going to be split, which does sort of raise some questions, I would say. See, there you go, awarded by Polygon. Polygon aren't an investor. They just got a grant from Polygon. It doesn't mean anything. So you've got to look out for these things. Scalability. They're on Polygon, so of course it's going to be scalable. I would have to do more research into this before I can tell you if it's good or bad. We haven't seen their revolutionary launch. It'll be interesting to see how they go once this testnet goes live. So we'll probably have a better idea there. Mainnet coming Q4 this year, which, I mean, if you think about it, we're very close to finishing Q3. So Q4 is on its way. So they haven't released their testnet, and we've got a few months left. So yeah, I would probably stay away from G Swift, to be honest with you. That would be my initial gut feeling, but I could be wrong. Compass. I've heard of this one, but I haven't done too much research into it, so I really can't say anything about that. So yeah, I think we'll probably have to park that one. S Fund I have heard of. CDFI, very good project. I think CDFI, you know, it's nice to have these launch pads. Because then it helps you get into the project. The problem is a lot of the time you need to have a lot of these tokens before you can actually buy in. So it doesn't help the average individual who isn't worth a shit ton of money to actually buy into these. So I think CDFI itself can do well. I don't know what its highest was market cap. I'm sure it was part of the last bull run, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was. So we had 300. So we were 10x away from its all-time high. It's not too bad. Maybe 600 million to $1 billion. I would take it, hazard a guess, is where it could go. So this might be a decent buy. I mean, again, we're talking about levels before its previous pump. We're there again. You know, we're down, yeah, at that price over there. So if we saw the pump the last time, it survived the bull run. I mean, the bear run. So Magic I have not heard of, but good volume. Pretty high market cap. What's Magic about? Tokenomics distribution. Is this a liquidity farm? Mining participating in Bridge World. My computer has now frozen. Well, the screen has frozen, so we'll be stuck here for a while. Team only get 10%. Mining rewards 25%. Okay, so the tokenomics look pretty good in terms of distribution on this one. Circulating supply pretty healthy as well. Let's reload this web page. Here we go. Connect gaming communities in the Treasure Metaverse. A decentralized NFT sits on Arbitrium. Okay, so then this has not been exposed to a Bullrun. Now, I must say that I'm not a big fan of Arbitrium, and you can see what this did when it was released at the beginning of the year. February. So it has seen, I think this one probably has maybe a 10x in it. I don't know how well these projects where they say, oh, we're connecting one part of the metaverse to another part of the metaverse. Sometimes it doesn't work. We haven't seen these metaverses mingle together and whatnot. So this one is okay. I wouldn't put my hopes on it. Maybe a 10x from here. I would say 5 to 10x is probably all you will see on this one. PYR. Now this is, I think, Vulcan Forged is going to be pretty big for one reason alone, and that's because of, again, Alec Becker. He loves this project. He has spoken about this project a lot, and I do think, I could be wrong, but I do think he's an advisor on the project as well. So I do think that this one will do pretty well, just because he's going to be speaking it up again, especially if he's an advisor, if he's got some sort of connection to the project, it is going to do well. $800 million market cap the last time. There was, again, like I said, a lot of hype around the metaverse space in crypto. And this was towards the end of the last sort of peak of the bull run in 2021. I think they've had a lot of time to develop their product. I think what they are developing is pretty good. Their tokenomics are fairly solid. They've got good volume still, so they've survived the bull run, a bear market rather, which a lot of those crypto or metaverse projects like Axie Infinity right here, they haven't survived. They haven't done very well. Where Vulcan Forged has done pretty well, they've seem to be doing that. They got play to earn and whatnot. So yeah, this one again, I think it'll see its old highs, but you're about an 8x away. 10 to 15x on this as a max. It's probably a safer investment compared to some of the others that we spoke about in the beginning of the stream, but it's still a good project. So yeah, Vulcan Forged, I do think it's there. Rainmaker Games. This is one that I haven't heard about. I must be honest, when it comes to metaverse, because I'm not the biggest fan, I don't necessarily spend a lot of time reading up on them. So Rainmaker actually isn't new. It seems fairly new actually. Yeah, geez, beginning of the year. Okay. Market cap 5 million is all-time high, so we are down quite a bit. No massive listings, decent tokenomics. Other on the sounds of volume is pretty high actually, surprisingly enough. Rainmaker, free platform to play hundreds of play-to-earn games, connecting gamers, games, and guilds worldwide. Gives everyone a chance to play, earn, learn like never before. Oh, hang on. I do think I have seen this one before. I think I've looked at this one. It's the one I'm thinking about. Yes, I have. One of my patrons actually spoke about this one, and we looked it up in a VIP stream about a month ago. Puppy, I don't know if you're in the chat, but I'm pretty sure you actually mentioned this one. Yeah, look, this could be good. I think they need a bigger community if this is going to succeed. Again, I'm not too clued up on tokenomics or anything like that. We can have a quick squiz of the. Oh, there is no white paper. Okay, that's a bit sad. Yeah, this one I think can be good. It's one of those ones, 300,000. So, for example, if you take $100, this could very easily 10x. This could very easily 100x. In the bull market, everybody, I think pretty much everything is going to go up. It depends on how much. For this to hit 30 million, I think be too difficult, but it could be a complete scam. So something like this, I would not go all in. By the way, PlayStation World, I like the name. I'm a big PlayStation fan. I'm a console player. I can't do the whole PC thing. So PC Master Race, people come at me, but yeah, I'm a console guy. PlayStation is my poison. Market cap hitting 30 million can be possible, and that's 100x. So these sort of projects where I don't like it when I see 3 zeros before price. It starts to give me sort of what's Dogecoin again? Meme coin vibes. Sorry, it starts to give me meme coin vibes. So when it comes to that, I would probably say this is maybe worth, depends on how much money you have to throw at this, but I would say maybe maximum of 2% of the money that you have to put towards projects. But say, for example, $200. Say you only have, a certain amount, and 2%. So you have, say, you have $10,000. Obviously, 2% of that is $200, and you say, okay, I'm going to put $200 on this. If that 100x's, you've turned that $200 into 20,000. You've done well. But yeah, I wouldn't. This is a bit more high risk, so I wouldn't put much more than maybe 2, 3, 4% on a project like this. But it could pay off. But again, with that, it would be money that you wouldn't necessarily expect to get back. You say, I'm going to put money on this. If I win, I win. If I lose, oh well, I'm going to make it up with other investments that are definitely going to do a 50, 100x, 200x, whatever the case is. This is probably a bit more speculative than some of the others, but doesn't mean it's going to be a bad thing. And then we've got Khaled coming in, thoughts and sharing. 100%. That's what I'm here for. That's why we do these live streams. That's why we've got the CryptoGrind community. Yeah. So if that's it for everybody, I'll cut the stream here. We will be going live again sometime this week, hopefully Friday, everything going according to plan. If you want to know when I'm going live, join my Telegram. I always announce it there before I go live. And then also on my Twitter. I didn't do it today, but generally I post on Twitter when I'm going live as well. There will be more videos coming this week on the channel, hopefully tomorrow on YouTube. So stay tuned. Thanks again to everybody for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you are interested, Patreon. Otherwise, best thing you can do, like, share, subscribe, and follow me on all my socials. And I will catch you guys in the next one.